Sharon,
Hey,
how are you?
good.
Hey, thanks so much for meeting.
It's my pleasure.
I really appreciate it. So I guess what I wanted to ask you first is, when was DARPA founded?
DARPA was founded in 1958, a few months after the launch of Sputnik, the first artificial satellite launched by the Soviet Union, which touched off sort of a political firestorm in Washington that we were falling behind the Soviets. President Eisenhower was on pressure to do something, so he authorized the creation of what was then called ARPA to help get us into space and then pursue other advanced projects to help keep us ahead of the Soviet Union.
And they have been looking into how to develop, essentially, super soldiers, right, for a long time.
Right. So DARPA first became interested in this area in the early 1970s during the Vietnam War, looking at things like, could a soldier who was shot, just by thinking about it, slow down their heart rate to stop bleeding? Sort of then new agey, mind-body feedback.
Right.
And then the military sort of dropped it for a couple decades.
And why did they do that?
Well, because the Vietnam War ended.
The New Age mind body thinking, this is not a New Age. It's, well, my view of it from a lifetime of experience is it's not a New Agey, it is a remembering of our natural power. And again, it comes back into this. There's a spiritual evolution happening and an electronic evolution happening. My theory on this belief is one is freedom and the other one is continuing to stay in the control matrix. Excuse me. I'm very big of it. I apologize.
And we went back to the traditional Cold War, the U.S. versus the Soviet Union, where you're looking at bombers, you're looking at nukes. This sort of brain-computer interface is really of most interest when you have people on the battlefield.
Right, so actual soldiers in combat.
Right, which is why it comes back around 2003, 2004, and after that, because suddenly we're involved first in Afghanistan,
Right.
then in Iraq, and some of the same issues come up.
And tell me, do we know what the military has developed so far?
One program they had going around 2007, 2008 was something we now call brain-computer interface. Can you use sensors to pick up brain signals and then use that to control prosthetics that can be controlled directly by your brain signals?
So controlling a prosthetic hand, controlling a prosthetic leg with your mind.
Yeah, it is something that's integrated with your body.
So Sharon, the military is really trying to not only enhance the power of the human mind, but enhance the power of the body, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can do that through nutrition, you can do it through drugs, or you can do it by putting on some sort of exoskeleton, sort of like Iron Man. It's very
Nutrition,
science fiction stuff, but this
natural,
is what they were talking about.
organic.
That is mind-blowing, though. I mean, are we anywhere near something like that?
Maybe
Well,
things,
exoskeletons have
but
been
I don't
worked
know.
on for almost a couple decades to give more endurance, to be faster, to lift bigger loads.
The bottom line here is what the military is really trying to do is enhance human brain
Too
power,
fast, and that's the
physical
little
power, and they're
things
trying to
that are
directly
very important
meld
details.
technology to the human body,
Exactly. They're trying to enhance human beings.
to weaponize it.
Exactly.
Wow. So I guess that's one of my big questions. I mean, this is one of the most top secret parts of really the entire government, right?
Yes, and there's
Yeah.
different levels of secrecies. There's the true black world where we don't even know what it is, and then there's classified projects. It doesn't want scrutiny from Congress. It doesn't even want scrutiny from senior Pentagon leaders.
Right. I mean, this is top secret stuff.
Well, yeah, about a third of their budget has been classified.
Sharon, thank you. This has been fascinating and huge for my investigation.
And my pleasure.
Thank you. Talking to Sharon was a revelation. Not only is DARPA trying to upgrade the soldier's mind, they're trying to upgrade the soldier's physical capabilities, completely transforming the human body. But is this kind of hardware a reality? And if so, how close are we to super soldiers with the strength, speed, and other capabilities of a robot? I need to get someone on the inside of this secretive agency to talk to me. Every government agency, DARPA included, works with outside contractors. They work with researchers, they work with labs, and those are civilians, right? They're not bound by this.
Something I want to talk about real quick is through my experience of what's been going on, and quite possibly people that are more involved in the spiritual side of things than I have been aware of, have called me out throughout my life, and not boasting, because I know all of us have these capabilities, and again, it is was stated in this video, it's just a matter of us being aware and practice utilizing it. And one thing that I've known, I've heard when I was young, and what I've heard through others, is we need to be careful of our knowledge, as in how we utilize what we know and how we utilize what we can do. I stepped back quite a bit, because when we realize what we are truly capable of doing, do we start becoming a bad guy? Or do we, when I say do we start becoming a bad guy, because you might be doing things that other people think that are bad, and when you think you're helping somebody, you may not really be helping. And I guess it's not really truly making much sense on how I want to speak at it. A good way to say this is I'm in multiple places at one time, and I'm very aware of it at the moment, and it's driving me nuts to try to speak. And yes, Abby, and she's helping me ground. There's a lot of videos that I really would like to do, and I try to sum everything up into these short little videos that I do. And then I just get sidetracked. Okay, I haven't had a cigarette yet today. I'm really trying to quit, so I'm more of a distraction, but at the same time, I do realize that when I do finally quit smoking, how clear and energetic that I am, and that, like the lady had said, it has to do with the diet. Oh my gosh, and here we go. She said it has to do with the diet. Now, me being, I have just a random researcher, because I was always that one that had random information that had no meaning for the most part for the fragmented pieces that it was, but when you get in certain groups, them fragmented pieces end up being what they were looking for. Anywho, the diet, when I really started watching YouTube and this big change really started to occur, big shift, I had realized that was happening, and I was starting to become more aware of it. There were different people getting on YouTube and creating channels, and through these creations of channel, they would kind of give different specifics of diets for everyone to be on. And I'm starting to wonder if each diet has its own particular awakening ability. Per se, awakening ability. At first I thought it was for levels of spiritual knowing of who you are. Now I'm starting to wonder if it's kind of figuring out. The testing ground is what I keep fucking hearing. Sorry. Testing ground. We're all lab rats. It's a giant lab. We're all lab rats. What do we choose to experience? We don't have to choose the experience of being the lab rat, an observer, and experience life's experience. Abby agrees. Alright, I'm gonna let that go on